Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a lovely special guest. This is Alana Ravndahl.
Keep me away.
Yeah, she's here for good. We're moving in. So we already filmed another video together, which is probably already going to be up on my channel at this point, but I wanted to film my project throwback video doing makeup on somebody else at least once with our Fenty Beauty Moroccan Spice palette. This is the palette of the month. So if you guys didn't watch my first video, basically I wanted to create a little project that we could do together called Project Throwback, where we collect some makeup that we haven't used in a while and try and use it as much as you can over the course of a month. So if you guys want to get involved, you don't have to use exactly what I'm using. Just pick out some makeup that you have in your collection already. Use it all month. You can hashtag Project Throwback on Instagram, Twitter, all that kind of good stuff, so I can see the looks that you're creating, see the makeup that you chose out to use up, and you know, maybe you can make some friends through the hashtag. That's how I met Alana. Anyway, so I am going to create a look using the Fenty Beauty Moroccan Spice palette on Miss Alana here today on my channel right now. Okay, so we've already primed Alana's eyelids and everything, all good to go. I'm going to start with this color here.
I am so excited for her to do my eyes right now.
Are you?
Yes! I can't wait for you to blend your magic on my eyelids.
So I'm just taking that first on that outer corner.
Although I have hooded lids.
You have really nice big lid space though.
Really?
Your eyes aren't hooded. They're deep set.
Okay, great.
There you go.
Work your magic.
I will. I intend to. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do yet completely. Do you ever do a halo eye?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I'm down with halo life.
Okay. I think that's what I'm going to do on you. So I'm just taking that color on the inner and outer corners.
You have such delicate, soft hands.
Oh, thank you. You know what I think I'm actually going to do on your lid shape? So normally when I'm doing a halo eye, I would actually, if you want to look down, I would actually connect the halo, but I'm going to leave it open on Alana's eye just to kind of complement her eye shape a little bit more, because she does have a deep set eye. So if we do that darkness in the crease, it'll make it appear even more deep set, whereas we just kind of leave it like this, you're still going to get that halo effect, but it's not going to deepen the crease any more than it needs to.
I am learning so much.
Okay, great.
I would have never left that unconnected.
There you go.
So I'm fascinated. I can't wait to see this.
I'm going to grab that coral shade right there, and I'm just going to use that to kind of soften that color we already put down. Oh, I actually like your little lid shape. Very nice. Things drop so differently on you than they do on me. It's so funny. I'm just deepening that color up with a small little brush. This is a Hakuhodo J146 brush. Okay, now I'm gonna take this deeper kind of plum shade. It's just a little bit darker and more kind of purple tone than that red one. And same thing, just placing that right on that outer corner. Just darkening it up even more. I'm sorry that my hands are so sweaty too.
I wouldn't notice past my own layers of sweat.
Okay, great. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to grab a little bit of the Too Faced Born This Way Sculpting Concealer. I'm going to take the shade Porcelain, just a little tiny dot of that on my little small Hakuhodo shader brush. And I'm going to bring that right down the center of the lid. I place my brush down first where I want the most product deposited. And then I just kind of pat towards the inner and outer corners to blend that concealer without having to use a second brush. I'm going to take this lighter pink shade there. It kind of is like a pinky rose gold, but I'm going to go over top with a pigment as well, I think, because I wanted to add some more dimension to it. But I'm going to start with that shade. Ooh, that shade is so nice.
I remember seeing a photo of Katy Perry laying down, sleeping while getting her makeup done, and I totally understand.
Why?
What a nice feeling. No, just like it's like a delicate face massage. It feels so good.
Well, hopefully if the person's being gentle.
Yes.
I'm just taking a little bit more of that color that we used first, that berry color, and I'm just tapping it over the edges to kind of blend that center color. Then I'm going to take this pigment from Illamasqua. It is in the color Static. It looks kind of white, but it has like a pink purple shift to it, and it's absolutely beautiful. This is another like super old product of mine. I don't think they even sell this brand in North America anymore. And I just love it. I just think it adds the most beautiful iridescent shimmer.
What a nice pigment.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah.
We can take it a little bit above her natural crease because when she opens her eyes, it won't really be seen. But when her eyes are closed, you'll get a little bit more of that lid space. Then I'm gonna take, I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna take that kind of shimmery champagne shade right there. I'm gonna bring that onto the inner corner and I'm gonna blow that shade out quite a bit more than I normally would. And I'm kind of almost bringing it up towards that brow bone. And then I actually am gonna bring it underneath the brow bone as well. And just make this super shimmery. Why not? That is just the same purple shade that we used for the outer corners, the darkest one. Then I'm taking that coral shade, ready? On the lower lash line as well. Poor Alana and her watery eyes. My eyes are exactly the same.
It's so funny. It doesn't really happen when I do it myself.
No, me neither.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's so funny how much more washed out it looks on camera. Like it's so much deeper
I know.
in real life.
We could go like this. Boom. There, a little bit deeper. I'm taking that deep purple again, and I'm just really bringing that into our lash line just to thicken it up.
I've applied mascara to one eye.
You look so great though with just mascara on, that's the truth.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You can close your eye completely if you want.
Oh, okay. Like it blows my mind that you wear these every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, the individuals look really good.
I'm just that bitch.
Just that bitch.
I'm gonna add a little bit of brow powder to Alana's brows just to balance out this look since we added quite a bit more depth to her eyes than she normally does. So we're just going to go through with a little, I'm just using Anastasia medium brown brow powder. And I'm just going to add a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You know, I want a thinner brush. I love your brows.
Oh, wow.
They're
Thank
very
you.
like model brow.
Oh my god, thank you.
So I'm just kind of going with Alana's natural brow shape here. I'm trying not to make them look too structured. I'm actually kind of keeping them a little bit more feathered. Raindrop, drop top. That's what I like to sing to my clients, just to make them feel at ease. I like a little lash on you, actually. I think that you suit not wearing them, but I always like to see people in lashes. I think it's fun.
Thank you. Ooh, thank you for playing with my face, Sam.
Hey man, thank you.
Look in my eyes.
Okie dokie. So that is look 2 of the Fenty Beauty Moroccan Spice palette on Miss Alana. Thank you. Thank you again for being on my channel.
Thank you for allowing me to be your model.
If you guys want to participate, remember to hashtag Project Throwback on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff, and I can see the looks you're creating and the makeup that you're playing around with for a month. If you guys choose to recreate this look, please tag me in it. Tag Alana so we can see what you're doing.
Like, retweet, subscribe, comment.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out and watching. I'll see you next time. Peace out. Oh, sweet angel. You didn't think I was going to leave you with an 8-minute long video, did you? No. So as I was editing this video, I realized that I missed adding a bunch of key points that I wanted to tell you guys about in terms of just like extra tips for this look. So I wanted to show you guys a more dramatic version of what we did on Alana and some things that I would have changed. So part 2 of this video, I'm going to be doing the same makeup on myself with some little changes so you guys can, you know, use what tips you want to use. Okay, let's jump into it. Again, I'm going to start by taking my NARS lip liner in the color Cassis. I didn't have an eyeliner that wasn't waterproof for this, so I'm going to be using this lip liner. Obviously, when you're using products that are meant for other areas, use at your own discretion. But I'm going to take this pencil and I'm going to just draw along my upper lash line. Now, the reason I wanted a non-waterproof pencil is so that I could kind of smudge it and blend it around. So I'm using my Real Techniques accent brush, and I'm just going to buff over that. Then I'm going to take that same pencil and I'm going to kind of draw out our outer V roughly. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want it in the general shape that we're looking for. Then I'm going to take my Real Techniques shading brush and I'm going to just sort of start to blend that out. So it may not look like we did much with that pencil, but what this is going to do is act as a base for those deeper shadows. The reason I wanted to put a pencil underneath for this round of this was to make these shadows a little bit deeper and more intense. I'm going to grab that deep purple shade right there. The one thing that I'm finding with this palette is that a lot of the shades look quite deep, but when you go to apply them on the lid, they actually are, not that they're not pigmented, but they almost apply a little bit lighter to the eye than I would think they would. And I find that I've been having kind of troubles making them look really dark. So I just basically took my eyeshadow and that dark purple and put it all over where my pencil was. And I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's not over top of a pencil, because I'm gonna leave it lighter on that inner corner. So I'm just taking just that shadow and I'm patting it on the inner corner there. So see the difference between how much deeper and darker that looks? And it wasn't like we put down like a black pencil or anything like that. We put down a really sheer wash of that pencil, but that one looks so much deeper and more dramatic than this inner corner here. You can build up the color a little bit, but I find that I can't build it up as much as I would like to, without having some kind of other base underneath it. And it's not even that I don't think that these are good shadows or anything like that. It's just more so that like I can't achieve some of the looks that I'm thinking of without adding to that palette a little bit. So I just wanted to add those underneath so that I could make this really nice and dark and a little bit more dramatic. I liked that the look that we did on Alana looked almost a little bit more ethereal. I thought it was really flattering for her, but I kind of wanted to show you guys, like, if you wanted to attempt a more dramatic version of that, this is how you're gonna be able to get that kind of more impact. So next I'm gonna take a Smith 230 brush and I'm going to grab that lighter kind of plummy red shade there. And I'm just going to kind of start to blend out that shadow. So we're working a little bit backwards than we normally do. A lot of the times on my channel, I start with the lightest color and work into the deeper color. So we're doing this backwards. We're going with the darkest color and working up to our lightest shade. Doesn't really matter. It's kind of just up to personal preference. A lot of the times I like to teach you guys to start with the lightest shade and work darker because it's easier to add depth than it is to take away depth. So that's the only thing to be conscious of. When you're working darker to lighter, you just really want to be conscious of your placement and making sure that you're not, you know, bringing the shadow up too high, because you have to remember that wherever you place the shadow, you're going to be blending upward. So if you place the shadow here, you're going to be blending it up to about here. If you place the shadow here first, you're going to be blending it up into your brow bone, and that might be too high depending on the look that you're going for. So I'm taking our nice coral shade there and I'm grabbing that on a Smith 232 brush and I'm going to wash that across our crease. So on Alana, we kept the center of the lid really open because her eyes are a lot more deep set than mine. So we basically just did dark, light, dark, whereas right now I'm doing dark, medium that's being brought all the way across the crease, dark, and then the light actually just on my lid. And then I'm just taking what's left over of that medium plum color and I'm kind of bringing that across our lid as well. You don't have to not connect it if you have eyes more like Alana's and less like mine. It's really up to whatever you guys want. It's just something that can be a little bit more flattering for that eye shape depending on what you're kind of going for. The other thing that I wanted you guys to take a look at is when we did the halo eye on Alana, we did kind of like the dark going almost straight up and down, whereas on myself, I'm going more like this. So the dark is going this way and going this way. And then when I do my cut crease, it's gonna be even more dramatic. You guys can see on this eye, see that the halo eye is kind of going like that rather than straight up and down. This is just because Alana's eyes are quite a bit bigger than mine, and her visible lid space is actually quite a bit more than mine. So this kind of gives me more room to play with that dimension and texture and just the look that we're going for. Whereas if I did it straight up and down, I would have a lot less space to play with. So we kind of are opening up that amount of lid space that we're gonna be putting this nice like sparkly part on. I hope that makes sense. That felt like a little mouthful. Okay, so then I'm gonna take my little small shader brush and I have my concealer. So with this, if you look, you can see where my crease is. I'm going just above my crease. So the reason for this is because if we go right on our crease and then we put glitter on it, a lot of the times we'll get transfer. So we'll get that glitter going onto our nice matte lid color there. And we don't want that because it looks a little messy and sloppy, and we want this to look nice and precise. So I go just above my crease so that it's still technically transferring, but it's transferring onto a spot where there's glitter as well, if you get what I mean. So I just place my concealer down where I want the most pigmentation, and then I'm leaving my lash line alone. So I'm just taking a little bit higher. And then I'm just gonna really gently kind of pat my brush towards the inner and outer parts of my eye once there's less product on it, just to blend out that concealer. Then I can take our same brush that we use for our inner and outer corner, and I'm just patting over top of that concealer to start blending our shadows together. Now I'm gonna take that pink shade right there. If you guys wanted this look to be even more dramatic, you could go with a dark shade down the crease rather than a light shade, and I'll kind of show you what that looks like in a second. Sorry, I know this video is like not very funny and like just really informative, but I just wanted to, I find it hard when I'm doing makeup on others because I'm so focused on doing their makeup that I don't talk at all. So it's a lot harder for me to give tips. So when I was editing and watching this back, I was just like, oh, like I didn't say anything that I wanted to say in this video. So I think I'm gonna redo the makeup on myself so I can get the tips out there kind of thing. But then when I'm like trying to give you guys tips, I can't like have any personality essentially because I'm just trying to get the info out there. I like the look of keeping this nice and light, and honestly you could leave this right here and I think this is beautiful, so you're not having to use any additional products aside from an eyeliner. But I really wanted to still do what we did on Alana and add that kind of iridescence down at the center of the lid, and I wanted to show you guys the difference between putting something like that over top of a light base versus a dark base. So this is the difference. This is what we're gonna use over top of that pink shadow I just put down, and this is what we're gonna use over top of a dark shade. So you can see it's a completely different look. This looks much more blue. It's very dramatic. It's more of like a kind of like nighttime look, so to speak. But it's a really cool way to use one product very differently. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're playing around with pigments. You don't have to put pigments over similar tones or colors. Sometimes it's really interesting to mix those pigments with something that you wouldn't normally think of or wouldn't come to mind first. Okay, so again, I felt like Alana's look ended up looking very like ethereal and soft, and it was really pretty, but I wanted to make this one a little bit more dramatic for you guys. So I just got this in the mail. This is the MAC Dazzle Shadow Liquid in Diamond Crumbles, and it's kind of the exact same tone as this, except for it has a little bit more blue in it, and it's a little bit more dramatic. So I'm gonna actually layer this with our pigment. So I'm taking this and I'm kind of like wiping it off on my brush just for more precision. And then I'm going to put that right over top of that shadow. Again, placing the brush down where we want the most pigmentation first, and then working our ways towards the inner and outer corner. And then I'm gonna take that same Illamasqua pigment in Static. And my brush is nice and wet from using that Dazzle shadow, so I don't have to worry about wetting it again. And then I'm just going to pat that pigment on over top. So obviously this is not like a completely necessary step. Like you could just stop with just using the palette if you wanted. But I just like that this adds so much dimension to it, and it makes it look really, really unique. And I also like that this Illamasqua pigment has a little bit more pink to it rather than that blue. So we get that kind of cool texture from using that Dazzle shadow, but we also get a little bit more of that warmth through the pink pigment back in, whereas the MAC one is a lot more blue based. And then for the rest of the eye, just same thing that we did with Alana. I'm gonna take that deepest purple shade underneath our lower lash line, going over top with that little plum color, the lighter one. And then last but not least, I'm just taking that coral and kind of making it a little bit softer and smokier with that. Then I'm taking our champagne color and I'm bringing that onto our inner corner. This champagne color is a little bit deeper than I would normally use on myself, but I actually like that because I feel like it kind of adds to this really nice smoky effect. And I'm going to take that under my brow bone as well. All right, you guys, so that is the final look. All right, you guys, so that is everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something cool today. Let me know what you'd like to see next in the comments below. I'll get back to you. Don't forget to hashtag Project Throwback with your looks, whatever you're using. I'd love to see what you guys picked out to use up for the month. All right, you guys, I'll see you next time. Peace out.